Democrats are preparing to wage a fierce assault against a number of President-elect Trump's nominees in an attempt to drive wedges between them and Mr. Trump's most controversial campaign promises. One of the more controversial choices is Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama. He's the president-elect's pick for Attorney General, potentially replacing the nation's current top prosecutor, Loretta Lynch. His record is certain to draw tough questions from critics who see him as an adversary on issues like immigration reform and civil rights. Ahead of his confirmation hearing, which begins Tuesday, CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid is in our Washington bureau to take us through the current issues facing Sessions. So, Paula, we know from speaking with Nancy Cordes that Trump's team has held several hours of mock hearings. How specifically is Senator Sessions preparing?
We're told that he's using all of his spare time to prepare for this hearing, but really, Elaine, most of his career has prepared him for this hearing. He's worked at the Department of Justice for 14 years. He was also the Attorney General of the state of Alabama, and then he's had a long career in the Senate, where just 2 years ago, he was on the other side of this, asking questions of Attorney General nominee Loretta Lynch. So he knows the players, he knows the issues, he knows what's coming. Elaine, he knows he will be asked tough questions about decisions he made and things that he said in the 80s when he was a young prosecutor. He's, of course, prepared for that. But this isn't a hearing where we really expect a lot of surprises.
Well, I want to go through some of the issues likely to come up. Police reform has been a defining issue for the Justice Department throughout the Obama administration. What kinds of questions do you expect Sessions to face?
Well, police reform is a great question. I assume someone will ask him, what will you do if you are confirmed as Attorney General? You're going to have 6 open investigations into law enforcement agencies across the U.S. That includes an investigation in Baltimore and one in Chicago. Now, the Department of Justice under the Obama administration has opened up 25 investigations. They say they're trying to improve relations between communities and the police in those communities. But some people say they've gone too far. They've been too aggressive. Now, the Fraternal Order of Police issued a statement in response to Senator Sessions' nomination. They said they are, quote, very, very pleased with the decision to tap Senator Sessions to be the nation's top cop. So it seems they are hopeful. And you will get a question, what are you going to do with all of these open investigations? Will you continue them? Will you throw them in the trash? Will you complete your own investigation and then maybe do some court enforceable agreements? That will absolutely be something that is going to come his way tomorrow.
What about immigration? It's a signature issue for the president-elect. Sessions is a hardliner on this issue. What power would he have over immigration policy as Attorney General?
It's very much a signature issue for Senator Sessions as well. Now, immigration is actually enforced by the Department of Homeland Security, but the Attorney General, the Department of Justice, they have oversight over the immigration courts and enormous influence in terms of how those courts operate and how immigration policy is issued across the country. But as you said, Sessions is really a hardliner when it comes to enforcing the nation's immigration laws and passing ones that are even more strict. So he's probably going to get questions from both sides of the aisle, considering he's about as far on the hardliner side as you can possibly be, about how he will go about enforcing these laws as Attorney General.
Well, something else he has not shifted his stance on, marijuana. Could he reverse any of the legalization going on across the country through federal enforcement?
Well, the states are safe for the most part. He cannot touch any states that have legalized marijuana, but marijuana has become a big business. And as Attorney General, he can make it a lot more difficult to do that legal business. While marijuana remains illegal at the federal level, under the Obama Justice Department, they have tried to make it easier for the fact that it is illegal at the federal level and legal at the state levels. They've tried to make it easier for businesses and for prosecutors to figure out how to proceed. They did 2 important things. The first is that they told prosecutors not to focus on individuals who have small amounts of marijuana. They said focus your resources, your time, your attention on large-scale distribution. Second thing they did is they told banks. They said, look, it's technically illegal for you to do business with any of these marijuana businesses, even if they're legal in a state. But if you follow these rules, we won't prosecute you. But that's just guidance, Elaine. That's not the law. And the Attorney General doesn't make law. He just will tell, or she will tell, prosecutors how to enforce it. So if Senator Sessions decides to reverse that guidance, that could make things very difficult for marijuana businesses across the country.
Well, Paula, you cover the Justice Department closely. Any other issues that you see coming up here?
There's two groups. The first one is news of the day. Anything you've seen in the news in the past 48 hours that you might not have thought of a week ago. For example, he might be asked about nepotism laws in light of the fact that the president-elect would like to have his son-in-law in the White House advising him. He could be asked about gun laws and the fact that the man accused of the shooting in the Fort Lauderdale airport got his gun back after going into an FBI field office and telling them that he was hearing voices. And then there's another group of issues, and that is the issue that has dogged the Justice Department for the past 2 years. That is the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private server. Elaine, it is highly likely someone will bring it up, ask him if he will continue the investigation, reopen the investigation, or perhaps ask about the future career of the FBI director, James Comey. Technically, the Attorney General has oversight over the FBI, and the FBI director reports to the Attorney General.
All right, Paula Reid, thanks so much for walking us through that.